We do have a quorum. Are you ready, Chad?
I'm ready.
Good morning to everyone and welcome to our Richmond Regional Transportation Planning Organization Executive Meeting today, November the 5th. Thank you all for attending. We will now have our statement regarding our virtual meeting. Chad, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Hang on one second. I'm going to share it on the screen.
Okay.
Due to the 2020 COVID-19 virus and current guidance regarding physical distancing to reduce the potential for spread, meetings of the Richmond Regional Planning District Commissions have transitioned to a virtual format in accordance with provisions of Virginia Code Section 2.2-3708.2 and related legislation approved by the General Assembly of Virginia during the period of the Governor's State of Emergency declaration for COVID-19. While we meet in a remote and virtual format, we remain committed to public accessibility and opportunity to participate. Staff provided notice of this meeting to members and the public on October 26, 2020, through electronic posting on the Plan RVA website and email distribution of notice to members, alternates, and known interested parties, including the media. This meeting is being recorded and live streamed. Audio and visual recordings of the meeting and materials will be posted on the Plan RVA website, as well as the Plan RVA YouTube channel within 48 hours of this meeting. Any members of the public participating as an observer during the meeting today may submit comments or questions at any time prior to or during the meeting via email at rrtpoinput@planrva.org. All comments and questions submitted at this time will be reviewed following the meeting, and to the extent practical, responses will be provided or posted on the Plan RVA website. We ask that members identify themselves first when speaking so we can more accurately record the activities of the meeting. All lines should be muted to minimize additional noise and feedback. You may unmute your line at any time to request acknowledgement from the chair. Does anyone have any questions regarding the process for assuring effective facilitation of this meeting or for how members of the public may participate?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There's been a legal ruling that, and I hate to say this, but that we don't have to read this with every meeting, but if it is included in the minutes that we receive, but we do need to vote on it. And it is possible to take that vote while we do roll call. So if you want to get another legal, if you want to have our attorney to make a legal ruling on this also, that was done with an attorney with the Airport Commission. Okay. I just want to point that out because it could obviously save a few minutes, but if it is included with the minutes, and this one was included, the statement was included in our minutes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely check that out.
All right, thank you.
By reading the statement, staff certifies that we have followed the approved procedures for appropriate notice of this meeting and the means by which we are convening. Now, please indicate your presence by saying here when your name is called during a roll call. Anyone who wishes to identify themselves following the roll call of members will be invited to do so. Nicole?
Thank you, Chet. Good morning. Town of Ashland, Mr. Hodges.
Here.
Ms. Barnhart. Charles City County, Mr. Koda. Chesterfield County, Mr. Holland.
Here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Ms. Haley. Goochland County, Mr. Spoonhauer. Mr. Lumpkins. Hanover County, Mr. Peterson.
Here.
Mr. Davis. Henrico County, Ms. O'Bannon.
Here.
Mr. Thornton. New Kent County, Ms. Page.
Here.
Mr. Tiller. Powhatan County, Mr. Williams. Mr. Nordvik. City of Richmond, Ms. Newbill.
Here.
And Mr. Addison. This concludes the roll call for attendance.
Thank you for doing the roll call. First on that is our consideration of amendments to our action meeting agenda. Are there any additions, discussion on amendments to the meeting agenda? Hearing none. We will move on to the approval of our October 1st, 2020 executive meeting minutes. Do we have any corrections, deletions, discussion on our October 1st minutes? If not, the chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval. Canova
Second.
Peterson.
John Hodges, second.
Thank you. Moved and properly second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Town of Ashland, Mr. Hodges.
Aye.
Chesterfield County, Mr. Holland.
Aye.
Hanover County, Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Henrico County, Ms. O'Bannon.
Aye.
New Kent County, Ms. Page.
Aye.
And City of Richmond, Ms. Newbill.
Aye.
Thank you. That concludes the roll call for item number 2.
Thank you. Item number 3 of the chairman's report. Just want to thank everybody for being here. Any other comments I have, I will bring to you in a full board meeting. So we will move to item number 4, which is our secretary's report. Mr. Parsons.
Thank you. Couldn't find my mute button. I'm going to combine items 4 and 5, if that's okay.
Right.
We're looking at a very light agenda today, and we have one change that we'll want to make to the agenda to remove an item at our 9:30 meeting, but I'll review that in a second. If we look at the current work efforts that we're going to report on, there's a lot been going on, and I don't know if anyone wants to say anything about the groundbreaking of the fall line, Mr. Hodges or anyone else. I'd certainly defer to that if anyone wants to highlight that as part of the project update. We could also, I'm just going to plan on reviewing some of the work efforts that we've done. I'll give a brief update on CBTA activities, and I think that there's a lot to share. We are setting up for both our finance and technical committee meetings are both next Monday. So there's a number of items that are on the agenda for those, and I can review those for the policy board as an update. We have our work program status report for September. We're right on track with everything. And if you remember, the format for this has changed. And part of this was because staff felt like the information that we were sharing before wasn't clear enough and didn't provide enough straight information to you all about how we're doing and how we're progressing through the year. So we changed the format, and it also coincided with some of the requests that VDOT has made to us to kind of unify the reporting that all the MPOs across the Commonwealth are using. So everyone should be using this updated format from now on. But if you recall, we've been using this, I think, since July, and it really takes each work task. Like on the screen, we've got program management as task 7100, and it tells you at the top of each description what the task is, what the overall budget for the work program year is, how much has been billed this month, and the percent of funds that have been expended so far. And that gives you a reference if you want to go back into the work program and see what the work program says for each of these tasks. So that's how it's split out for each of the different tasks that staff has been undertaking for this report in the month of September. But we also do quarterly updates reporting to VDOT, and then our year-end annual report as well. We have an update. I'm just going to briefly share. The Port of Virginia gave an update at last month's October technical committee meeting. So Barb Nelson shared some slides, and I'm going to go over those at 9:30 that kind of just give a brief update from a TPO perspective about some of the work that's going on at the port and how they've benefited from funding from the TPO through the RSTP funding program, and we'll give that update. And then the last item is a brief update on the work that's been happening in relation to the MPO boundary discussion. If you recall, the policy board last month referred this to the TAC for a recommendation, and the TAC is scheduled to come back at your December meeting. So December, whatever that date is, 5th, I believe, to give an update on their recommendation for the MPO boundary change. But I can give you a brief update at 9:30 about how that's moving forward. So the agenda change for 9:30 is that Jennifer Mitchell had to change her plans at the last minute and has asked if she can be pulled off the agenda for this month to give a passenger rail update from DRPT and be put on the December agenda. So she just asked to move back 1 month. So that will be an agenda change for this morning. And then Paul Prideaux from Michael Baker is going to join us and provide an update on our I-95 RMT Commerce Road Corridor Access Study, which is it's an exciting project, and it's been underway for almost a year now. The TAC heard from Paul last month, as well as Barb Nelson, and recommended that this study be adopted. So that's the action that's coming before you today, to adopt this study, and then we can use it to go out and seek additional funds through all of the various opportunities that are available to the Richmond region right now. And then we'll get updates from Shane Mann or possibly Mark Riblett from VDOT and Jennifer DeBrule from DRPT. And that's the agenda. So the main item on here is the I-95 Commerce Road presentation and requested action.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Parsons. If there are no comments or discussion on the agenda items, we will move to item 6, which is other business. Our public comment period is open. Have we received any comments via public participation, emails, or?
I will defer to Nicole. Nicole, have you checked?
I have checked, yes. We have not received any comments.
Thank you so much. The public comment period is now closed. I will leeway now for our TPO members. If you have any comments that you would like to make at this time, please feel free.
Hey, good morning, folks. This is Neil Spoonhour, Gibson County. I just want to let you know I've been watching since the beginning, but just was able to get the link after we approved the minutes. But good to see everybody.
Okay, I think I sent you an email with that in there. Thank you so much.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
just a comment back to Chet on his summary of the 9:30 agenda. I'll be glad to comment, or I plan to comment on what we're referring to as the Ashland to Petersburg Fall Line Trail during his presentation.
Okay, Mr. Hodges, thank you so much for that.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Madam Chairman, this is Canova Peterson. I see that Eric Gregory has just joined us, and we might want to go back to Pat O'Bannon's comment earlier about the reading of the, whatever you call these, that thing we read at the beginning of the meeting.
Absolutely. Attorney Gregory?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry for my late arrival. For some reason, the Zoom link hadn't wasn't in my inbox. But anyway, no big deal. Here now, so happy to do what I can to answer any questions.
So Supervisor O'Bannon brought up a discussion regarding reading the statement of virtual meetings. And I believe I'm correct, Supervisor O'Bannon, when she stated that if the statement is included in our minutes, then it does not have to be read. It only has to be voted on.
That's correct. We've tried to streamline that from the beginning, from March when we originally prepared that. Not all bodies read that kind of a statement. If it's included in the minutes, that is acceptable. We've continued to read it just because of just to be transparent, but it's not absolutely necessary. That's correct.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up for us, sir. Are there any other questions or comments at this time?
Ms. Page, I guess with that clarification, what's your pleasure for the 9:30 meeting? Do we read it or leave it in the agenda?
My pleasure for 9:30 meeting is simply to refer to the statement, and we will give the update as to why we're not reading it, and we'll poll the members for action on that, stating that they verified it, they've read it, or they're aware of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other comments from our members that are present? Okay,
I have one question.
yes, ma'am.
Did everyone receive materials about the I-95 and Commerce Road, or is that going to be presented in doing a presentation today? Mr. Parsons probably can answer that. I have some papers, but just wondering if everybody got to see that.
Yes, that's actually going to be a presentation today. The consultant has developed a story map that kind of goes through the narrative of the study, but there's also a draft report that was, I believe it was distributed, at least a link to it, but we can clarify and make sure that that is available.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, if there are no other comments, our next meeting will be on December the 3rd, 2020. And I look forward to seeing everyone back at 9:30 today for our policy board meeting. If there are, if all hearts and minds are clear, and we have no other comments, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Ms. Page, one last question. There were a number of folks this morning who had difficulty locating the link. Does everyone have the link for 9:30?
I do now.
I do now. Yeah.
I do now, but I did not know where to obtain it from. Chat. Where was it available?
It should have been sent as a separate email from the RRTPO address.
Okay. Yeah.
Right after the agenda or the calendar item was sent to you. So we'll try and figure out a cleaner way to do that from now on.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be nicer, a lot easier. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If I can, there's a way that someone can set up a broadcast email and time it so it like would come in at 6 o'clock this morning. So if you opened your inbox, you could just click on it. Sometime if somebody can figure that out, I know it can be done. So.
Mr. Parsons, my suggestion would be when we send out our executive minutes and I guess our reminder of our dates, that we would put the links with that at that time. I'm in the same boat. I looked all over this morning. It's like, where is the link? And so I think that would, in our box where we have on all of our minutes, like the public participation page in our YouTube channel, if we could put our Zoom link in that, or if we could send it out in one of our reminder emails.
Yes, we'll figure it out. The issue is that we don't want to share the link with everyone. It only needs to be sent to the people that are going to be on this screen. So we'll figure it out. Thank you, Ms. Page.
Thank you. And so at this time, Our meeting stands adjourned until 9:30 with our policy board.